2024 was a year for me. It was a year for me. A lot of people year that was the hardest was 2020, but 2020, nah, I was I was living my life. I was in celebrity houses, learning about spirituality, getting a background of the finest in 2020. That was a lot of people's hardest year. But 2024, bust my ass. I do curse, okay? So don't act surprised. I do curse and I do talk about Jesus. And, but yeah, 2024 really, really, really did bust my ass. But yeah, so I couldn't figure out what I wanted to wear, so I just put on a simple fit. My scarves, I love my scarves. I'm going through a 50 stage in my life, but I was always a fan of like the 50s and fashion, and I cut my hair, and I think that's what I was doing the last time I saw. I put on a little bit of weight, but it's good weight. But yeah, I'm in a really, really good place. But 2024, it bust my ass. So 2024 was the hardest year so far. The hardest year so far. But I can honestly say that 2024 has made me into a grown-ass woman. Okay? The obstacles, the heartbreak, the challenges, back to back. Like, I didn't even have a chance to kind of grasp what was going on, to understand I had no other choice but to trust God this year. And God made it so that it was only me and him. Okay? Like, he shut things down. Like, nah, you have no other choice but to kick it with me. And I'm so grateful for it. But would I do 2024 again? No. I don't want it. I don't want it. But I am so grateful that I made it out of so many. Oh my gosh, it was like stuff back to back happening. Like, I didn't even get a chance to breathe. And so what happened was I automatically shut down. I shut down. It was like chaos all around me. But even though it was like chaos, guess what? I was at peace. I was glowing. I was growing. I was learning. I was crying. I was shedding. And I was healing. I was healing a lot. And I was quiet a lot in 2024. And I was quiet because I couldn't understand, like, what all was happening. Like, I had no other choice but to sit home and shut down and ask God, what are you trying to get my attention for? What do you need me to do? Because this is a lot. Even when it came down to reaching out to people that I thought I would find encouragement in, he shut that down too. He shut that down. And that's when I learned you cannot really depend on people. Do not fully put your trust in people. The only person you fully trust is God. Go to God for everything, because that's what's going to keep you safe. Go to God for everything, right? And so I learned that. But in all honesty, yeah, your girl is here. Your girl is happy. Your girl is very proud of herself. And in this video, I'm going to share some things that I've never felt comfortable sharing. But I'm going to share it because I do want it to help others. I feel like the world has gotten so caught up in not showing the realness, and it's all about superficial and how it looks. Don't get it twisted. I like to dress. I love my shoes. I love my shoes, and I like to play dress up, but it's nothing like seeing the realness of everything, right? What happens behind the scenes. And I believe if we show a little bit more, that anxiety will go down, the urge for perfection um, will go down, and just being yourself and finding your purpose, right? But I wanted to do this because there's a lot of people out here struggling, and they're not ready to talk about it, or they're ashamed, or they're embarrassed. But look, we all go through things. We all go through things, and we are all here to learn. We are all here to grow. We are all here to evolve. And I always say we're trying to move forward, not backwards. So anyone that's trying to keep you backwards, we trying to go forward, right? So, but yeah, let's get into the year. So my year 2024 started off crazy. Like it had already started off crazy. I had saw something on social media that kind of crushed my heart, and I don't know, it just started off like crazy. So I saw something on social media that I just wasn't cool with. Yeah, I wasn't cool with it, and it broke my heart a little bit, but under the circumstances, it was expected, right? But we never want to see stuff. We never want to tackle it. It's just always different when you see it, right? So when I saw it, I just was like, oh my God. So I was like, you know what, I'm not doing this, whatever. I love positive energy, and I had decided this is not the way I want to start my year. So I'm like, dismissed or whatever. So I'm trying to get through that, trying to get through other things, and it was just a lot of growing. I feel like God designated 2024 for healing, definitely for healing for me. I didn't really realize how much trauma I had endured until it was time to heal. And healing is not pretty. And when you do heal, it is good to isolate yourself. Sometimes God has sent people along the way to encourage you, but that healing journey is nothing to play with. Like, there is celibacy with it, there's tears with it, there's heartbreak, there's memories and triggers, but you got to commit to it, because if you don't commit to it, you want to come out on that other side fully healed. So I had said to myself, you know what, I'm not gonna have a year of dating. um, I'm gonna practice celibacy, because I want to purge myself from any impurities, and just connect fully with God. And I did it, and it wasn't easy. It's not easy. I mean, especially, I mean, come on now. Like, I know my energy. And when you're practicing something like that and you looking like something else, it's never gonna add up. But I stayed in the house a lot, and I just healed. There was a lot of times where I was just crying, but I was at peace. I was at peace, and healing from just old relationships, old way of thinking. I asked God to dismiss everything that I thought I knew of myself, and just thought I knew of myself, and just things that I thought I knew, and just rebuild me, like rebuild me, give me a different way of looking at life. And this year definitely was a year of me changing my whole perspective on how I see people. I changed my whole perspective on how I see life. And that's going from things that I've experienced this year alone. God definitely showed his face to me. He is definitely my provider. And I just thank God for keeping me protected from things that I didn't even have any idea. And he prepped me. If I can sit back and think about it, yeah, he definitely prepped me. But it is so beautiful to be protected. And one thing I do know, with falling in love with myself and learning about love more, when you love something, you protect it. There's no way. You can't say you love something and you're not protecting it, right? So if someone says they love you and they're not protecting you, it's not adding up, because the two go hand in hand, right? So I thank God for protecting me through it all. And with this season, I have learned to love myself, so that way I can attract authentic love. So you gotta love yourself first, right? So I did that this year, and I fell in love with me, and I was broken. I was broken, and it caused me to act out of character. And when you're broken, you do act out of character. You're not acting in your loving, from that loving place. You're acting out of a hurt place. And so I'm just grateful that God chose to heal me in that area. I was in a very, very long relationship, and I was so unhappy. I was unhappy, but to the outside world, it looked like I was happy, and I wasn't. I wasn't. I was miserable, and I made the best out of it. But in my heart of hearts, I was miserable, and I knew he was not for me. But I chose to stay because of the children, and everyone around me looked pleased with him being around. They didn't know the whole story. Um, but I stayed because, I stayed for the children, and I stayed because it was like convenience, it was comfortable. Um, and I realized that I was a people pleaser. One thing I learned about being a people pleaser is you are not living for you. You're living for everyone else except you. So what's not going to happen, I can't live for anyone at this time. I'm living solely for Tiff. Solely for Tiff. If it doesn't make me happy, I can't do it. During my healing season in 2024, yeah, I had to realize that I was suffering from a lot of trauma. A lot of trauma. And there was no other choice but to heal. It was definitely time to heal. I believe in healthy relationships. Um, we are living one life, and I don't want to be in a relationship where um, you're not living your happy, you're not your happiest. Like, I believe in being happy. I believe in laughing with your partner. I believe in like a best friend vibe. Like, we are all here on this earth to be happy. We are not supposed to be stressed. Why don't you want to come in the house? You should be excited to come home. I mean, it's been some times where I done sat in my car for like 2 hours because I ain't want to go in the house. I did not want to go in that house. It was crazy, but I was miserable. So, yeah, I realized that I was a people pleaser. Like, I was doing everything to please others and not please myself. And that was causing me to fall into a depression. Um, Angry because I was being disrespected in so many different ways. Um, he really had me feeling like I wasn't good enough. So much that when I would go out, and I'm being myself because I love to express myself in a creative way, I would get dressed, and, I would see the attention that I would get, and it was just like, this is nice because I don't really get this type of treatment at the house. Just being honest. I felt like I wasn't shapely enough. I felt like I wasn't pretty enough. And that's insane. That's insane. And I can't blame anyone but myself because I didn't love myself as much as I thought I loved myself. So I had to go into a place of just healing that and stop settling for what you know isn't making you happy because of maybe obligations. I don't really know everyone's situation, but I just feel so blessed to be here and just out of a situation that was extremely toxic and learn from it and grow from it and share with others. Choose you. Choose you. I had to honestly forgive myself because the person that he turned out to be, I was displeased that I even chose somebody like that. I had to forgive myself for bypassing the red flags, and take accountability for ignoring the red flags because there was a lot in the beginning, but I chose to ignore them. And I think I chose to ignore them because everyone's human, right? But these were very, very alarming red flags that I chose to ignore. So, and I chose to ignore them because I was caught up in the outer appearance and didn't realize that I was more focused on the outer appearance, that I wasn't paying attention to the type of character this man had and the type of respect level and how he handled things and his character. I didn't pay attention to none of that. I was more caught up in the outer appearance, and which was very, very shallow of me. Um, and so which led to a lot of chaos. It wasn't all bad, right? It wasn't all bad, but there was no respect. And I remember something had came up, and from that day on, I just felt disrespected. And it was always stuff back to back. And I really do think that we went into the relationship thinking two different things, and that's why it's important to really get into someone's head to understand, like, well, what is your idea of a relationship and what is my idea of a relationship. My idea of a relationship is respect. I mean, respect is number one. Like, love, loyalty, and just being honored. Like, it's an honor, like, to stand next to you, so I'm gonna honor it. But I think we just had two different interpretations of what relationships look like, and it was just chaos. It was chaos. I was miserable, and very surprised on how um, I was being treated. And I honestly kept my mouth shut because of the relationship with the children.